Day 3 of the road trip. What are you doing there, Ethan?
Editing.
Oh, the often heard of but seldom seen. All the hard work that goes into a channel. Here's Ethan doing his job. Some people think all we do is go out and have fun, shoot guns, but no. Tell us about how hard this is, Ethan.
Oh man, it's just hard.
Well, it's time to go to work, do some shooting. Such hard work.
Oh,
Ethan, how are we going to go home again? By way of where?
Go home by way of Phoenix, Arizona.
You want to go to Tucson?
Yeah, go to Tucson.
Go see Santee?
Yep.
Yeah. That's only about 14 hours out of the way. We could surely do that, couldn't we?
Yeah, I think so. I think I can swing.
Tell us what we're looking at here, Duke.
So this is the Holmesley grave, Mary Elizabeth Holmesley. She died out here on the Oregon Trail, 28 years old in 1852. And I forget if she was sick or what happened, but she had just given birth before she got out here, and then she was measles is what got her. She's stricken with measles and died out here. So I can't remember if it was the state or the actually no, it was the Oregon California Trails Association built this monument, and they put her headstone, which is very unusual to see a headstone from that time period carved in a sandstone and it still be where you can read it. So that's why they've put the monument up, and they've actually put it behind glass so that it continues to be preserved. This is kind of a little known area out here. Not many people come up to this just because it's way out in the middle of nowhere.
That's pretty cool. Oh, this is the Oregon Trail right here?
The Oregon Trail actually was going right up on top of the bluff up here. It run up there, and digging a grave up there is going to be a little difficult because there's a lot of hard gravel and there's a lot of silty limestone. If you look over on this side, you can see that's what they call gray rocks in this area. So digging a grave up there would be difficult. But you get down in here and it's a lot of sand bottom, so it's more than likely why they put her grave here.
How many people you think died of dysentery on that hill?
Oh God, it's hard to tell. Death numbers were actually pretty small compared to the total number of people coming across the trail. If I remember right, in 1850, it was between 45 and 65,000 people on the trail, and there was something like 218 of them died between Fort Laramie and the jumping off point.
Well, I know back in the 90s, I died about 87 times on the Oregon Trail.
Well, it's cool. Down there at Fort Laramie, somebody signed in on the register, and they said when they signed their name, we did not die of dysentery on the comment section. So.
All right, Ethan, tell them what your loadout would be automatically if you're going on the Oregon Trail in 1995 on PC.
Oh, I usually went into town and I didn't buy any food or any clothes, but I bought a whole lot of ammunition, and then I shot it all in the first hunt and come back to my wagon train with about 4 tons of buffalo meat.
Well, no, you killed 4 tons, but you can only carry 2 pounds.
Yep, only carry about 2 pounds back. Yep.
And then you eradicated all the game.
Well, had to go west.
I think we better move on. If you can just see this little dip right here. From what Duke tells me, I guess, this is the Oregon Trail, huh?
Yep. So this is what they call the old Bedlam ruts. And we're only about a couple miles from Fort Laramie, a mile and a half maybe. If you turn around, you can see the fort right down there. And so it kind of gives you a feel up here that when the people, once they hit Fort Laramie, realize that this is it. They're in the wilds. They're not turning back. This is the last civilization they're going to see for a while. But the trail would run up along these ridges and continue on down, because it was easier traveling up here on the high ridge than it was down close to the river, because in this area it's in a valley, a lot of bluffs, and then they would go on down towards where the town of Guernsey, Wyoming is now, and I think we're going to run down there and take a look at some better ruts.
Yeah, you can see the trail as it winds down through there, just kind of like a cow path. It takes the easiest way, winds down and then comes back at an angle. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, not too far over, it's even closer than what Fort Laramie is. There's a line of trees down there. That's the North Platte. But yeah, And at one point in time, all these hills were covered with these little pine trees, which weren't good for lumber, but they made decent firewood. In the 60 years of operation down there at Fort Laramie, from the fur trade up until the end of the military, wasn't a lot of trees left in the country. And then cattle grazing, of course, that didn't allow them to grow back.
Probably a few good fires.
Yeah, that probably helped too. And then that stand of trees you see down there, that's the Laramie River. So yeah, they come to their confluence about, from here, it'd be about 4 or 5 miles straight east. So Oregon Trail traffic would tend to stay south of the North Platte. The Mormon Trail ran north, and then they would cross into Fort Laramie here, and then those two trails would converge along with the California Trail. They would all run along this line. But from Fort Laramie to the east, the Mormon Trail was on the north, California, Oregon was on the south side of the river.
Cool. Big country out there.
Yeah, you can get a good shot of Old Bedlam from here. It's a big building down there.
Oh yeah.
Big officer quarters.
I can zoom in without it getting too fuzzy. Right down there. Anyway, all right, let's move on to the next one.
And some people tell me on a real clear day you can almost see Scotts Bluff from here. I've never noticed it. But it's way down there on the horizon.
Guess we better look at the little sign.
Yeah, there's a little sign there on it as well.
That's the Oregon Trail. That's pretty cool right there. Something you hear about all your life. When you get up to see it, looks just like an old cow path. Except for a little deeper. It's pretty amazing.
So we're here at Register Cliff. So this was a famous place in the Oregon Trail days where people would come and carve their names into the rock, and you got what they call historic graffiti. People were carving their names even up until the 1900s. You look up above the root cellar storage there. There's a 1968, a 1950, 1917. So people carve their names on this all the time, but it started way back in the Oregon Trail days.
There's one from 1872 right there.
Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of a mix. But yeah, this whole area here is where they carve their names in. And then this rock, this is what they call the gray rocks in this area. This is actually limestone that they'd harvest for Fort Laramie. Not here, they harvest a little closer to the fort, but they bake the lime out of that. They had a kiln on the side of the fort, and that's how they got the lime to make the concrete on site.
That's pretty cool. That is a huge cliff.
Yeah.
I wonder how.
Somebody had to have ladders.
Yeah, I was about to say, a few of them are way up there.
Oh, there's one up there. It's 1867. That's way up high, or is it 1967? I think it says 1867.
That's that one says 1867. They had to climb up that rock there.
1861.
D. Kinley.
69.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 1969. So. Those are pretty modern ones. Then you can see where the cliff swallows, they've been building their nests up there too.
Couple pigeons up there.
Yeah, there's a lot of pigeons in this area. A lot of farming.
That's pretty awesome.
When the state took over, and I don't know if they stopped everybody, but if it's like some of the stuff like back where I'm at, southeastern Colorado, we got a lot of Native American pictograms, petroglyphs, and there's people that have carved their stuff in it. The most recent one I'd seen when I was down there, I think it was 2015, and they said class of 2015 they carved in over everything. So you get modern graffiti.
Duke, for shame. 1969. You didn't tell us how old you were.
That's 20 years before I was even thought of.
Right down there we have some more Oregon Trail. They cut their way right through that rock. I mean, I guess they kind of had to chisel their way through the rock if they were going to get through here, huh?
Well, you figure started coming through in the 1840s. 40 years coming over this same spot. It's going to carve it out. And they'd have to stop and carve down in the center, because after you only get so high, you start dragging the axles in the bottom of the wagon.
Literally no wider than the wheels.
Yep.
And that's kind of cool. That tells me that the people who were walking beside the wagon probably had a harder time, because they had to walk that rough stuff.
In front of it, yeah. But some of the movies they'll show, like when they're going across the prairies, the wagons will be in a line, and certainly here they were in a line. There's also accounts like out on the flats out across Nebraska, they'd be like 12 wagons wide. You get attacked by Indians, it's really hard to round up in a line for protection, but if you kind of travel in like a box formation, the Indian sack, you can form up a fortification right quick. Looks like somebody got a little carried away with their sign. That's a steel sign too.
The rifle round.
That about had to come from way over yonder.
Yeah.
That might be an accident.
Well, things there's more than one. I think some smart aleck was popping rounds off. This is what you don't use for targets out on public land.
You know.
There's some really good ruts right there. Wagons come down that rough rock all the way down there. Rough country. Oh, we're back here in the Bowflex room. Hope you enjoyed the Oregon Trail stuff. And we'll catch up with you again tomorrow. We have 2 more days to go. Thanks for watching.